Test it, test it, test it. Test.
Jesus created the world, if Jesus created the world, how did he enter Mary's womb to come out?
Because God has the power to unite.
It is God, but God, that is God, but not Jesus.
Sentence?
That is God, but not Jesus.
Do you believe in the Bible?
I believe in the Bible.
So then why do you?
Let me
so
ask
then
you
when the
this
Bible,
question. Let me finish with.
So then
let
when
me
the
finish with
Bible
my
tells
question,
you,
if you wouldn't mind.
Hold on. So then when the Bible says that Jesus is our God or God over all, why do you reject that?
I reject that because it is not true.
So you reject what the Bible
when
says?
Jesus, yes, that phrase, when Jesus was in the womb,
hold on.
who was controlling the universe?
Hold on.
No, answer my question
hold on,
first.
Please.
Answer my question first.
You just said you rejected.
Answer my question first.
You just said you reject what the Bible says.
I'm proving you wrong. That's why I said answer my question first.
Okay, hold on. Let's calm down.
I'm down. I'm saying that.
I'm saying
when
you
Jesus
just said
was
you
in the
reject
womb,
what the Bible says.
Answer me the question. You are not answering my question.
Okay, go ahead.
When Jesus was in the womb, who was controlling the universe?
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Where is the Father? Where was then the Father?
What?
Where was then the Father?
What do you mean, where was the Father?
Yes. Because Jesus was in the womb of the mother.
So what does that have to do with the Father?
You said he's the Father.
I never said he's the Father.
You said
I said that God is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I didn't say that Jesus is the Father. I
but
believe
you said Jesus
I'm a
is
Trinitarian.
God.
Listen.
You said Jesus is God.
I'm a Trinitarian. I believe that God is three persons, three different persons. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. These three are not each other, but they are one God because they have one nature. But
so that's your belief.
Hold on.
That's
I know that's my belief. I'm saying hold on, because you said that you believe in the Bible, but then at the same time, the very thing that's written in the Bible, you reject. I asked you, when the Bible says that Jesus is our God, is the God over all, or God over all, blessed forever, amen. Why do you reject that?
I'll reject it because it doesn't make sense to me.
So because it doesn't make sense that you reject it?
Yes.
So can I? Hold on. Do you think that's correct? Do you think that's good?
Correct.
Okay, so you think that's a good thing to do, to reject something just because you don't understand it, or because it doesn't make sense to you?
Yeah, if it doesn't have, if it doesn't have basis,
just help me understand. Help me understand. I'm saying because something doesn't make sense to you, that's good grounds to reject it.
Oh yes, that's why we are Homo sapiens.
If math doesn't make sense to me, can I reject math?
Yes. If you're what?
If math does not make sense to me, can I reject math?
You're what? I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you know what math is?
What is math?
Mathematics.
Mathematics, okay, yes.
If mathematics doesn't make sense to me, can I reject it?
It has formulas.
Yes or no? If mathematics does not make sense to me,
it's because you don't know.
Can I reject it?
If you know.
Not because I don't know, but because it doesn't make sense to me. Can I reject it?
You can't say it doesn't make room because it has a what?
What?
It has a formula.
I know it has a formula. I'm saying if the formula
if
doesn't
you
make,
don't know,
if the
if you don't
formula
know the
and
formula,
everything,
it
if
will
the
not make sense.
formula, hold on, if the formula and everything doesn't make sense to me, does that mean I should reject it?
If the formula is because that's what I'm saying. If you don't know,
formula doesn't make sense to me,
you can't
can
say a
I
formula cannot
reject
make
it? Yes
sense.
or
You
no?
can never say formula doesn't make sense.
I
It has
can.
basic. Do you know the proponent?
People say this all the time. They say
No,
that
do you know the
formulas in
proponent of
math.
mathematics?
People say this all the time. They
Do
say
you know
that
how
formulas in
mathematics came
math.
about? Do you know how
People,
mathematics
can I
came
finish
about?
my sentence?
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
asking me a question. That's why I'm answering you.
Here, maybe let's just go to the very scriptures that you're ignoring. Here, let's go here, okay? Can you
All
read
right.
this?
Who wrote this?
This is the book of Romans.
Who wrote it?
Do you know who Nietzsche wrote it? Like, I don't know why that's relevant.
Yeah, it's relevant.
Why? You don't
Why?
reject the Bible.
You read. Oh, so whatever you see.
Do you accept the Bible or not?
That's what you are saying.
It's Paul that wrote it, but I'm saying, do you reject it?
To them belong the Patrick what, and from their race, according to the flesh, is the Christ, who is God over all, blessed forever. Amen.
Does it say that Christ is God over all?
That's what the statement says.
Okay, so then is the statement correct?
It's not correct.
So then Paul is lying?
Yes, it's lying.
The author, an author of the, oh, hold on. An author of the Bible, stop. An author of the scriptures who is being guided by the Holy Spirit is lying?
Why not? If it's a lie, how do you compare Jesus to be God? How do you compare Jesus to God?
So here, tell me, what do you accept? What scripture do you accept?
I accept that God.
No, what scripture do you accept?
One.
What scripture do you accept?
I'm a Muslim.
Oh, my fault. Should have asked him first. Should have asked him. My fault.
Yeah, because God is one.
God is one. That's fine.
And Jesus.
So okay.
Is a prophet.
So then hold on.
I agree. Jesus is a prophet.
So then what do you do here? So then what do you do with Jesus himself saying that he's God?
Jesus is not God, but he's a prophet.
Why does he say he is?
God. He can say whatever he wants to say.
What does he say? What?
I say
Why does
I'm
Jesus
God.
say he is
What
God?
the fuck? I say I'm God. What?
And I'm saying Jesus is not God.
Jesus says he is though. Who
Okay,
should I
and I
listen
say
to?
I'm God.
You?
Why did you say
Hold on. Should I listen to you or should I listen to Jesus?
You
Should you listen to me or
Yeah,
Jesus?
should I listen to you or Jesus? Which one?
Jesus did not write the
What, son?
Bible.
I didn't say Jesus did write the Bible.
is-
I said
it's
that
none of your
Jesus
business, son.
says
Go mess
that
with
he
your
is
stuff.
God.
Thank
Why
you.
did he tell
Again,
you?
I'm asking you, who
Why
should
did
I
he tell
who should
you?
I listen to?
This
Should I listen
fucking guy.
to you or Jesus?
Well, first of all, you should listen
I'm
to
not
yourself.
I didn't say you are.
You
I
might wanna
asked you
listen
who I
to me
should
then.
listen to
you're a
you or to
dumbass.
Jesus.
No, you do your research to know the best to take.
Okay, so then I should take Jesus' words because they're authoritative and not yours, right?
So that's yours.
I'm saying I should take Jesus' words over yours, right?
Oh, if that's what you want, why not? But I'm just telling you.
Are your words authoritative?
Logically, Jesus is not God.
Help me understand. Are your words authoritative?
Am I? Well, what?
Are your words authoritative? Do they hold any authority? Do they hold any power?
Oh, I'm not God.
I didn't
God
say
that
you
gives
are.
If I was in your
I'm
face,
asking
it
you if
holds
your
power.
words are authoritative, if your
Yeah.
words have any power to them.
Me alone, my
not.
my
No, I
words
don't
are
have.
authoritative.
Okay, so then I should hold to the words of the one who actually has authority in his words, who is Jesus, correct?
Says who though?
Is that what you think?
Says
Is that
who?
not does Jesus have authority?
Says who though? Who says Jesus got
He
authority?
doesn't have authority over God. It's God that
I
gave
didn't
him the
say
authority.
anything about having authority over God. I'm saying, does he have authority at all?
It is God that gave him the
I
authority.
didn't ask you
It's
that.
not from
I
him.
asked you, does Jesus have authority?
Jesus have authority.
Okay,
But
so I should listen to the words of someone who is authoritative and not yours because you don't have
if you
authority,
want that
correct?
authority, it's God, not Jesus.
I didn't ask you that. I'm saying, so I should listen to the person whose words have authority, not to someone like you who does not have authority in his words, correct?
Then you yourself don't have,
It's
also
just a
have
yes
authority.
or a no.
Do you
I didn't
also have
say-
authority?
I didn't say I have authority.
So then you don't ask
I
me
never
that question.
said I have
Because you
authority.
don't also have authority.
I did not say I have authority. I literally just asked you if, whose words I should listen to. Should I
I
listen
said
to the
listen
one?
to God,
Okay.
not Jesus.
All right. So whenever Christ said, here, maybe. Here, read this for me.
My brother, do your research work before you
Read this for
come
me.
to
I don't, read this for me. Read it for me. Hello,
Why
read
you say
it.
Jesus is God?
Read it for me, please.
No, you read it.
Read it.
You read it. I'll listen.
Oh, I know you can read. Come on, read it for me.
No, you you have it, so you read it.
Read it for me. I know you can read. I like to have my viewers read for me, okay? Here,
Oh no.
No,
read it
I,
for me.
I don't work for you, dumbass. The fuck? So you can only get
Can
into
you
heaven
read
if
it?
you can read?
No, I can't
You
Okay.
can only get into heaven
When
if
I
you can
saw
read?
him, I fell at his feet as though
Shit.
dead. But he laid his right hand on me, saying, "Fear not, I am the first and I am the..." Who's the first and last? Help me understand. Who's the first and last?
First and last.
Yeah, who's that?
Adam was the first person to be created.
Who is the first and last?
I said Adam was the first to be created.
Is Adam
True
the
or false?
first and the last?
Was Adam not
Is
created
Adam the first and the last? Yes or no?
I'm asking you a question. Is Adam not
Is
created
Adam the first and the
first?
last?
From the
Yes
Bible,
or no?
from the Genesis? who
Yes
was
or
created
no?
first?
Is Adam the
I'm
first
coming.
and the last?
With your own Bible.
Is
From-
Adam the first and the last? Yes or no?
Adam is the first.
Is Adam the
according to your
first
Bible,
and the
yes.
last? Yes
And
or
who
no?
is the last?
According
Nobody
to
has come to
that
the
Is
scripture,
Adam the first
yes,
and the last?
just as the
Yes
same
or no?
as
It's
what's
no.
his name?
Okay,
I'm saying
so
that
who
Adam-
is?
Can Superman
who
fly?
is-
Yeah, Superman
who
can
is
Adam
fly.
is the first.
Who is the first and the last?
She's fucking
Adam.
dudes with their
I'm not
books.
asking you who's the first. I asked you who's the first and the
I said
last.
Adam is the first.
Who's the first and the last? And the last. Who is the first and the last?
They have not been last.
What?
They have not been last.
Who is they?
They have not.
Who is they? When
This
you
is
say they have
ridiculous.
not, who is they?
There is no last person. I
There's
want
no
you to know
first
there
and
is no
last?
last person.
Wait, there's no first and last?
No, there is first, but there is no last.
No, I'm saying, is there a first and the last? Yes or no?
I said there is not.
Okay. So then, are you a Muslim?
I'm a Muslim.
Hold on. Help me understand. He is the first and the last, the
Yeah,
most
this
high, the
dude
most
ain't
near.
got-
And he
this
has
dude ain't got
perfect knowledge
shit.
of all things. Who's
Did he
that?
mention Jesus here?
Who's that?
Did he mention Jesus?
Wait, who is that? Who is that?
Do you
He's asking who's the first and the last. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, according man, like, come on, man. Can I sit around this guy or somebody? He said he asked this dude like in one of the passages, who's the first and the last? And I guess in the passage it is saying that Adam is the first and the last, right? And he's like, okay, just answer the question, who's the first and the last? And then the other dumbass guy is debating him. He's like, this the first, the fucking, and he's like not trying to answer it. And I'm like, just answer it, bro. It's Adam, and who cares? I mean, that you asking me who's the first and the last, I can tell you in the book it says Adam, but that doesn't prove nothing. What is it me saying? Who ate the apple? Eve, and that doesn't mean nothing, because I can tell you who can fly, Superman. In the book, who can fly? Superman. That's the truth. Superman can fly. That doesn't mean nothing. He's trying to prove his point to this guy by saying who's the first and the last. Adam and Eve. I mean, Adam is the first and the last. But it's like, but according to the book, he's the first and the last. But of course, if it's in that book, anything you put in that book is it's you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like that'd be like me. I mean, that'd be like you asking me who flies in Superman's story? Superman. Okay, then I'm right. Like duh, Superman flies. That doesn't make your point clear. It's a book. That's the only point you're making. It's a book that says that Adam is first and last. So these fucking dudes can't answer because they both believe in religion. So they're both in a standstill. Yeah, he thinks he got it. He's like, who's first and last? I'm like, just fucking tell him Adam, and then tell him because it's in a book that is made fiction to this fucking purpose. This fiction book is made so whatever is in this ramification is true to this book. You dumbass. You see what I'm saying? He's asking questions that's truthful to the ramifications of the book. It's like that doesn't prove nothing. Who is Jesus? Like Jesus? Like, he said he's a Trinitarian. It means you believe in Jesus, the Holy Ghost, and God are one person at the same time. I'm like, yeah, he's God. He can. And then there's Muslims that asking him, if he's God, then then how was he in the stomach, and how was he controlling the world if he was in Mary? I'm like, dude, you're such a dumbass. I'm like, if he's God, he can be anywhere, at any time, any place, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. He's God. So how can you sit there and ask him? How can you sit there and question him about, well, if Jesus is God, then he can't run the world if he's inside Mary pregnant. I'm like, bro, he's God. He can do whatever the fuck he wants to do. He could be in 6 people if he wants to. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, who the fuck are you to put limitations on God? You know what I'm saying? But besides all that, who the fuck said that he is God because he was pregnant inside? Like, it's like both of y'all motherfuckers just arguing over something that a man wrote. It's like he's over here. You're saying that the guy who wrote this book, that documented this book, was written by a Holy Ghost. You're saying he's lying. He's like, yeah. The Muslim tells him, yeah, he's lying. He's like, oh, so the guy who wrote the book, the guy who wrote the scriptures with the hand of the Holy Ghost is lying. He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, too. Like,
Wait,
whatever,
who's that?
bro.
Who is that? Who is that? Who's that? You said that
I
there's no
said,
first and
did you
last.
see
Who is
Jesus?
this?
Taking a break.
Who's this?
Oh.
Who's this right here?
I said, did you?
What you got? What you got going on? It's just cooking, frying up. All right.
Got 108 views
All right.
on the short.
All right. Good short.
Like, barely. I can watch my video 6 times to get higher than you.
Yeah, but she didn't do that. Everybody else did it for her. See?
I did still. It says, hey Siri. Siri. Yes, queen. Oh, my phone's gonna be no, detected. Oh wait, I mean my pawn. One pawn detected. What's that pawn?
Who is this? Who is this? Who is this?
You are
Answer the
making
question.
that
Who
argument.
is this? Answer the
Then
question.
Fred, do you see
Who
Jesus
is this?
written?
Answer the
Did you see
question.
Jesus?
I'm gonna say this
I
one
don't
more
know.
time.
That's a dude
Answer
that
the
wrote it
question.
in the
Did you see
book. I don't know who the
Who
fuck
is
that is.
this?
Some dude
My
that wrote
brother,
it in
you
the
are
book.
making
Who is
you are
this?
confused
I
yourself.
ask you one more
Did you
time.
see
Actually,
Jesus?
I'll give you 3 tries.
Oh
Who
my
is
God.
this?
Do you? I said, do you see Jesus here?
Who is this?
Answer. Did you see Jesus here?
Who is this?
Did you see Jesus?
Thank you for coming up. That boy said there is no first and last. And then we go to his scriptures. He's the first and last, the most high, the most near, and he is the perfect knowledge, and he has perfect knowledge of all things. Who is that?
Who said that?
I guess he don't exist. I guess he just not real.
Or who said that though?
But everybody that's watching live so far, make sure you guys are liking the live. There's
Who said that?
almost 90 of you guys watching on YT. Make sure that there are 90 likes or just you know, the same amount of people liking and the same amount of people watching. Make sure you guys are liking. And on TikTok, make sure you guys are also liking. We are 22 minutes into the live and there's only 4.8k likes. Let's try to get to 20k likes pretty soon. But yeah. Shout out to Sister Rosny with the
Can't
$5
believe
super
these
chat. Probably
people are
tried to ban
fucking
me
getting
from speaking
views,
about
dog.
Jesus.
These
The church has been
fucking
vandalized again.
lame ass
Protestants sending me hate.
motherfuckers, dog. Fucking with these lame ass fucking debate ass motherfuckers. They ain't got no real debate in them, dog. That fool. Some dude said it. That's the best they got. Some dude said it. Bitch ass motherfuckers. Take your ass back to school,
back with
bitch
another
ass.
one. It's
Dumb
shot
ass
time.
motherfucker, dog.
Check this out. This company built an AI headset that lets you control your dreams. Imagine Inception, but in real life whenever you want. And they do this by activating lucid dreams. It's insane. In normal dreams, this part of your brain is turned off. It's called the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. And that's where all your decision making happens. That's why in normal dreams, weird things happen to you that you just can't control because your control center is off. But in lucid dreams, things are completely different. In lucid dreams, you can control your behavior. You can think, act, build, invent, all in a world where there are no risks. Some of the best inventions in human history came from lucid dreams. Tesla, Einstein, even the idea for the periodic table came when the inventor was asleep. It's pretty powerful. Now this company, Prophetic, created a way to turn on lucid dreaming whenever you want. It's called the Halo, and it fires low intensity ultrasonic energy to activate that part of the brain, essentially waking you up while you're sleeping. Imagine being able to focus during a nap, or trying to experiment with a dangerous solution in a world with no danger.
That looks good. We should try it.
Fuck that, bro. They'll use it for mind
Yeah, fuck
control.
that shit. That's exactly what I was thinking. Mind
Everything
control.
that exists
Fuck that shit.
was once either a dream of man or a dream of God.
Dream
It is
of
through
God? How would you
dreams
even
that
know
prophets of all great
That
religions
motherfucker's a
receive
stupid,
their
dog.
wisdom. Scientists contemplate the mysteries of the physical world, and artists conceive works that bridge the divide between the sacred and the profane. Indeed, the entire universe dreams of itself. Since the beginning of time, evanescent particles have danced through the quantum vacuum in a cosmic reverie so potent that if you were to awake, you would swear that it all really happened. What are these things we call dreams? What does the frontier of the dream world hold? The truth is out there. It just has yet to be discovered. What we need is a ship so that we can explore and discover. Discover unknown equations to make sense of reality. Discover unknown solutions to the world's biggest problems. Discover unknown truth about the nature of existence. At Prophetic, we are building the world's most reliable gateway to explore human consciousness. Because it is those who discover the unknown.
Project that could change everything. Project Stargate brings together Larry Ellison, Sam Altman, and Masa Son to build the largest AI infrastructure project in history. The scale is insane. They're constructing massive data centers across America, starting with 10 buildings in Texas, each 500,000 square feet. And that's just the beginning. Oracle is already building AI for healthcare, using it to analyze medical records and create cancer detection systems that could diagnose from a simple blood test. But here's what makes this truly huge. SoftBank's Masa originally planned to invest $100 billion, but after seeing the project's potential, he increased it to $500 billion. The project brings together tech giants like Microsoft and Nvidia, creating over 100,000 American jobs almost immediately. Sam Altman believes this will be the most important project of our era, keeping advanced AI developments in America instead of countries like China. It's all happening fast too. Trump plans to speed up construction through emergency declarations, making it easier to build the massive power plants needed to run these AI systems. The first centers are already under construction in Abilene, Texas, and there's much more coming. Crazy.
It's only a matter of time until we get Skynet.
It's already here, bro.
Skynet is now online.
Whoa!
Gifyon is going to be a factory of intelligence. And this factory of intelligence is a new industry that never existed before. It sits on top of the IT industry. We're inventing something fundamentally new.
How ironic that just days before the Terminator's 30th anniversary, NVIDIA founder and CEO Jensen Huang, along with the King of Denmark, launched the country's largest AI supercomputer.
The CPU is a neural net processor, a learning computer.
Skynet, Gifyon, aims to drive breakthroughs in quantum computing, clean energy, biotechnology, and other areas that benefit both Danish society and the world.
We should watch Terminator again.
We're gonna be living it soon, bro.
This is our second aria that we have here, and this is here to demonstrate our vision recognition system. Basically what she can do is she can recognize faces and people and objects. So she can tell if you're holding an apple, a phone, can make eye contact with you. You can see here what's in the box. This is what she sees and what she's processing. But if you can see here, grabs a hold of your face, she will move and follow you. I can go this way and her gaze will follow me. You can see here, she's caught my gaze. You can see my face on the camera. So hi Aria, and she has the ability to smile as well. So if I move this way, you can see her eyes follow me. And the reason this is done this way is we've embedded micro cameras in the eyes. Other robot companies put a sort of a camera in the chest cavity. We put them in the eyes so that they can make eye contact and follow you around. They can actually even identify if you've fallen or are hurt and notify somebody to come by and give you a hand. So right now, the micro cameras in our eyes are catching your gaze and following your movements as you move around. So it's locked eyes with you and it's following you. And on the camera there, you're seeing what's happening and processing in her mind.
Little creepy. Scale 1 to 10, this is like at least a 10.
We're not far off having theme parks like Westworld.
It's deeper than Westworld, bro. Biden's a robot.
Come on, Ted. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only.
They created something called the robo-rat. That was the first biohybrid. So a biohybrid is when you mix animal and a machine. And people freaked out. They were like, you cannot put brain chips in rats and make them move through a maze by a remote control, which is what they were doing. They now have pigeons that are mixed animal and machine.
What?
They created something called, there's a moth. So there's a Mandica sexta moth. That's what it's called. It's a large moth. And scientists put brain chips into the larva so that when it cocooned and became a flying moth, it had the chip built into its system, making it easier to integrate, and they could fly the moth around the lab. And that was a huge step, and this is now 4 years ago that I was interviewing these scientists.
Told you, bro. Pigeons aren't real.
Let's hope they can't reverse the controls on Neuralink.
What happens if someone ultimately does get a Neuralink installed? What will take place?
So you basically take out a chunk of skull, put the Neuralink device in there that has a battery and a Bluetooth and a inductive charger. Insert the electrodes. So the electrodes are very carefully inserted, avoiding, any veins or arteries. You stitch up the hole and you just have a little scar, and that's it. And you wouldn't even know that somebody has it. It could, in principle, fix almost anything that is wrong with the brain. You could also save state.
Save state?
Save state, like save your brain state, like a saved game in a video game.
Whoa.
And restore that state into a biological being if you wanted to in the future. In principle, there's nothing from a physics standpoint that prevents this. Now, you'd be a little different, but then you're also a little different when you wake up in the morning from yesterday.
We need to stop it, bro.
What do you guys think about Neuralink? You think it's going to be good or bad?
You're working to build basically an interface to the brain.
Yeah. Electrode to neuron interface at a micro level.
Okay, what is that? Like, I'm gonna have a plug in my head that's gonna fit into a hard drive? Or how does that work?
Yeah. A chip and a bunch of tiny wires.
This would be implanted surgically. And it would do what? Could you input? Could you download Jim?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Wait.
The long-term aspiration for Neuralink would be to achieve a symbiosis with artificial intelligence, and to achieve a sort of democratization of intelligence, such that it is not monopolistically held in a purely digital form by governments and large corporations.
Basically, an effort for man to merge with machine in a healthy way.
Yes.
To beat machines, you basically have to merge with machines.
Most likely, yes. Essentially, how do we ensure that the future constitutes the sum of the will of humanity? And so if we have billions of people with the high bandwidth link to the AI extension of themselves, it would actually make everyone hyper smart.
That clip didn't age very well.
You wanted to keep AI out of the hands of the government and corporations, but that ain't going so well.
This is a bit scary. No wonder Elon Musk gave this video an exclamation mark. This is footage from a coffee shop using AI to monitor its employees. The blue text with white letters indicates each employee, and the number shows how many cups of coffee they've made. You can see that an employee named Anna is working diligently, making a total of 20 cups. Meanwhile, Olga is hiding in the corner, slacking off, and has only made 3 cups. All of this is tracked by the AI, which then reports the findings to the boss. In Amazon warehouses, similar technology is used to monitor employees. They even allow AI to generate termination notices for workers with low productivity. But it doesn't stop there. Before long, everything around us, from cars to ships to our daily lives, could fall under AI surveillance. Everything will be tracked, monitored, calculated, and analyzed. If you're wondering what AI is really capable of, well, this is your answer.
That's terrifying.
Told you, bro. We're fucked.
We've discovered an alarming £20 million tender showing police plans to ramp up the use of live facial recognition across the UK. Just recently, the new police minister said this:
"In considering its present and future use, we must balance privacy concerns against the expectations that we place on the police."
But just days later, we found a police tender document worth £20 million, inviting tech companies to develop facial recognition software that could work across the whole UK. While the new government is promising to investigate the use of facial recognition technology, police forces are dodging scrutiny and attempting to rush in mass biometric surveillance that would turn the streets of Britain into high-tech police lineups. Our allies around the world are banning and restricting use of this technology, but UK police forces are quietly pouring in millions of taxpayers' money into this dangerous surveillance technology. Facial recognition cameras pose the biggest threat to privacy in living memory. We're fighting back. Are you with us?
This is getting out of hand.
We gotta fight, bro.
You know what the C40 consortium is? Yeah, well, they're a lot of fun. 40 of the biggest cities in the world. They've all signed on to this. So what's their agenda? You can't even believe this is true. 1 short-haul flight per person every 3 years. 95% reduction in private automobile ownership. No meat consumption.
I know.
No meat consumption.
I mean...
Right. And finally, 3 items of clothing a year. That's their plan.
No.
Absolutely. 100%.
3 items of
C40. 3 items of clothing. How much bloody clothing do you need? The planet's at stake.
All while they go around on super yachts and private jets.
I've got a better plan, bro. Tax the rich.
ChatGPT can now book your dinner reservations for you. It can buy your flights, it can buy your groceries, it'll use your credit card information, it'll do real things in the real world on your behalf that you tell it to do. It's available now. I'll literally show you right now. Book a sushi dinner for 2 tomorrow night in WeHo. Hold on, I'm gonna make it bigger. To be entirely clear, I am not touching my computer. I'm not doing anything. But what you're seeing right here, so this is my Chrome browser. This is me on the internet. I'm at ChatGPT.com. This is a smaller browser within the browser that ChatGPT is operating completely on its own without my involvement. So, that little mouse you see, that's ChatGPT. Oh, it clicked. I didn't do anything. My hand's over here. ChatGPT is selecting days on this drop down. See how the mouse just moved? That's ChatGPT working. That's my mouse. My mouse is up there. I'm not doing anything. There's the trackpad. I'm actually gonna have it make a reservation. Oh, what did it pick? Ocean Sushi. And it says, I found a reservation at Ocean Sushi for tomorrow at 7 p.m. To confirm the booking, I need your first name, last name, mobile number, and email. Can you provide those details? Sure. Okay, so I typed in my big personal information. Typing away. My beautiful little assistant that doesn't need to be paid, that doesn't need to sleep, that doesn't ask for a raise. Wow. Wow. I think that's it. Okay, wait. Let's actually check my email. There it is. Your reservation has been made at Ocean Sushi. Incredible. Incredible.
That's pretty impressive.
They're giving it too much power, bro.
Look at this freaking thing right here. Why is no one talking about power washing drones?
This is day 20 of showing you 2025's best business ideas, so follow for more.
There's a franchise here in the US selling power washing territories, and part of what these franchisees do is pressure wash things like the Superdome and water towers with freaking drones. These franchisees make on average 450 grand per route with 35% net profit margins. Full details right here.
That's crazy.
They'll turn them into flying flamethrowers.
These stylish glasses just changed everything about AI eyewear. Halliday created the world's first smart glasses with a completely invisible display. But that's not even the coolest part. The AI inside can predict what you need before you even ask for it. The magic happens through DigiWindow, the smallest that only you can see, with no obvious tech visible to anyone else. And the AI is next level too. While other smart glasses wait for a command, these actively listen to your conversations and provide real-time help. In meetings, it'll analyze discussions, answer complex questions, and even generate summary notes automatically. But here's what's wild. They only weigh 35 grams, half of what normal smart glasses weigh. They work for 8 hours straight and can do everything from instant translation in 40 languages to displaying song lyrics while you listen to music. They basically packed a personal AI assistant into glasses that look completely normal.
This stuff's moving so fast.
It's killing the internet, bro.
Check this out. I do not think that people realize that this wreck here should be illegal.
AI has reached a point where I can make anyone say anything. For example, here's Alex Hormozy telling you to follow Sirio to learn more about AI. And here's Bobby asking you to check this spec out in the link in my bio. And none of them actually said any of that. Here's how it works. I record myself saying whatever I want. I upload a clip of anyone from the internet, and AI syncs their face and voice to my words, perfectly matching my movements, tone, and delivery. And here's the real problem. It's legal. Right now, I could exploit any influencer's trust and push any message or product I want to create fake user-generated content, and then run ads to it. Deepfakes are here,
and they're widely available to anyone with an internet connection.
The internet's dead, bro.
If you haven't seen our episode on the dead internet theory, go and check it out.
I mean, it's crazy. We're talking about having a huge increase in productivity, So there's going to be more goods and services for everybody. So everybody ought to be better off. But actually, it's going to be the other way around. And it's because we live in a capitalist society. And so what's going to happen is this huge increase in productivity is going to make much more money for the big companies and the rich. And it's going to increase the gap between the rich and the people who lose their jobs. And as soon as you increase that gap, you get fertile ground for fascism. And so it's very scary that we may be at a point where we're just making things worse and worse. And it's crazy because we're doing something that should help everybody. And obviously it will help in healthcare, it'll help in education. But if the profits just go to the rich, that's going to make society worse.
The profits always go to the rich, bro.
Yeah, I don't see how it's going to be any different with AI.
January 6 Capitol rioters aside, there was one other pardon today that sent shockwaves around the world. Donald Trump gave a full and unconditional pardon to Ross Ulbricht, the founder of the dark web drug marketplace Silk Road. In 2015, Ulbricht was handed 2 life sentences plus 40 years over the website, dubbed the Amazon of the drug trade, an unfettered market for illegal drugs. Silk Road, named after the historic trade route, is thought to have sold over $320 million worth of drugs and was linked to 6 deaths. Ulbricht alone is thought to have made $18 million in Bitcoin commissions through the sales of stimulants, psychedelics and cannabis under the alias Dread Pirate Roberts, a nod to the ruthless pirate from The Princess Bride.
I know who you are. Your cruelty reveals everything. You're the Dread Pirate Roberts, admit it.
With pride. So why the pardon? In an online statement, Trump called the conviction ridiculous, saying the scum that worked to convict him were some of the same lunatics who were involved in the modern-day weaponizing of the government against me. But from the leader of a country with a war on drugs who once said all people caught selling drugs should be given the death penalty, it's a curious decision.
It's crazy he was going to be in jail for life just for setting up a website.
He served 11 years, bro.
Last night, Donald Trump granted me a full pardon. I was doing life without parole, and I was locked up for more than 11 years. But he let me out. I'm a free man now. So let it be known that Donald Trump is a man of his word. Thank you so much, President Trump, for giving me this amazing blessing.
Uh-oh, he going to hell.
I am so grateful to have my life back, to have my future back, to have this second
He
chance.
don't sound like he's happy.
This
that
is
shit don't look happy at
such
all.
an important moment.
Like he's
for
like
me
he's really in jail
and
now.
for my whole family. It's an important moment for everybody who's been working for this for years. This is a victory, and it's your victory too. And this is an important moment for everybody, everywhere, who loves freedom and who cares about second chances. So it feels amazing to be free, to say the least. It's overwhelming, and for the next however long that we need, I'm gonna be with my family, so that we can reunite,
This does not
and
look
be
like he's
whole
free.
again and heal.
Hell no.
But there's a lot to talk about, and I look forward to re-engaging the free world.
Oh, that boy's scared as fuck, dog.
And
he fucked up.
so once I'm
Sold his soul to the devil. He fucked
feeling
up.
up to it,
And I'm not talking about Trump either. He ain't the
yeah.
devil. That's a bitch.
Something tells me you're going to hear a lot about this guy over the next few years.
They'll probably take him out, bro.
Hell yeah.
And the way Silk Road kind of had the anonymity is it used what's called Tor, the onion router, which is an anonymizing function on the deep web. It was actually invented by the U.S. Navy back in the mid-90s or so. But it also used cryptocurrency. So it was the first time like we saw this birth on the internet of mixing cryptocurrency and an IP blocking software. So, you know, in cybercrime, you go after one, the IP address and trace it through the network, or two, you go after the cache. And this one kind of blocked both.
Cache meaning the flow of money, physical or digital, and then IP is some kind of identifying thing with the computer.
It's your telephone number on your computer. So yeah, all computers have, you know, a unique 4-octet numbers. You know, so 123.123.123.123, and it, you know, the computer uses DNS or domain name services to render that names. The FBI has a computer system where you look up things. You know, you look up anything. I could look up your name or whatever if you're associated with my case. And we were finding at the time a lot of things when you look it up, a case would end, be like, oh, this is Tor, and just stopped. Like we couldn't get any further. Yeah. So
we should do a deep dive episode on the Silk Road.
We gotta do the JFK files first, bro.
Could two of the USA's infamous assassination mysteries finally be solved? President Trump's ordered the release of classified files relating to the assassination of 1960s President JFK and civil rights activist Martin Luther King. Experts aren't expecting major revelations, but JFK's grandson has slammed Trump for the move. Will these files finally answer questions or just fuel more theories?
This is going to be crazy.
They've probably destroyed anything incriminating, bro.
Trump declassifies files on assassinations of two Kennedys and Martin Luther King Jr. And I'm safe to assume that the CIA is shitting a brick right now, but let's see what it says in the article. So yeah, Donald Trump has signed an executive order declassifying documents relating to the assassinations of JFK, RFK, and MLK Jr. Bloomberg and the executive order published on the White House website. Now, Trump had promised to release the documents during his first term as president, but ultimately yielded to a request from the CIA. Of all organizations, the CIA, why would the CIA tell him not to do it? That's so strange. To keep most of the materials classified. And yeah, I think at that point, as everyone knows, when he did first get in, he didn't even think he was going to get in, and he had surrounded himself with people that were obviously trying to influence him and try to avoid specific secrets coming out. And then when he left, that's when they all tried turning on him, and this all happened. So now he's coming in full force, and it's even more funnier because RFK Jr. is part of his squad. So it's going to be fun to see what secrets unfold. I feel like a lot of the CIA is going to be draining the swamp.
There's no way they left anything on file, bro.
It might make people question the original evidence.
You were down on the viaduct, so to speak, weren't you?
We were halfway in between on the grass. So we're underpass. We were at the curb when the incident happened. But the president's car was some 50 feet still yet. In front of us coming towards us, and we heard the first shot, and the president, I don't know who was hit first, but the president jumped up in his seat, and I thought it scared him. I thought it was a firecracker because he looked, fear. And then as the car got directly in front of us, well, a gunshot apparently from behind us hit the president in the side of the temple.
Do you think the first gunshot came from behind you too?
I think it came from the same location. Apparently back up on the mall, I don't know what you call it.
For the benefit of nomenclature, all you folks have gone up under the viaduct, and as you turn going under the viaduct on the left-hand side, there's some grass. Do you think the shot came from up on top of the viaduct toward the president? Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Not on the viaduct itself, but up on top of the hill, the little mound of ground at the garden.
How far away would you say that is from where the president was? A couple of 300 yards, something like that?
Well, I have no idea because I didn't see where the gunshot come from. We were looking directly at the president when he was hit, and he was more or less directly in front of us, and we didn't realize what happened until we seen the side of his head.
There's no way there was only one shooter, but we'll have to save that for next time.
Hold up, Ted, we got to do the giveaway.
If you want to win some of our merch, leave a comment on this video for a chance to win next week. Let's do this, bro.
Bang bang!
Black, black.
Pick something from our merch store and we'll send it straight out. The hoodies and the sweatshirts are finally here, guys. We're super proud of these. The quality's on point.
We got hoodies, sweatshirts, and zip-up hoodies in grey and black. That's 100% organic, bro. Best quality on YouTube, guaranteed.
And as always, thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one. Yo, what's good? We're back with another one.
It's showtime.
If you're going on holiday anytime soon, you're going to want to watch this video, trust me. The EU could reportedly be scanning through your fully encrypted chats by October 2025. Now, these reports have been circulating for a while and it's becoming more prominent in conversations in these situations. I'm sure you all know that most apps and the activity you do on them, things like TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, it's not encrypted, so when you fly somewhere, the chances are they're probably looking at what you've been doing, mate. But there are encrypted sites like WhatsApp and Telegram where it is illegal for people to essentially look at what you've been doing there because it's encrypted. But what the EU is trying to do to basically have more child safety standards is have this so that when you travel to a country in the EU, they will check your encrypted data. Denmark originally being the ones to bring this up and push for this because of CSAM issues and finding things like that on people's phones. So the reason they're trying to do this is to protect children and protect people who are doing that sort of thing from even getting into the country. So do you think this is just safety standards and trying to protect people, or do you think this is way too far in an invasion on people's privacy? Let me know your thoughts, and as always, I'll keep you updated.
What happened to probable cause? We're treating everyone like a criminal.
Privacy's dead, bro.
What's coming that makes censoring the internet this urgent? Because right now, governments across the world are killing the free internet in lockstep. The UK's Online Safety Act just went live. They say it's to protect children, but now you need to upload an ID to use Spotify, YouTube, and even Google. You refuse? Account deleted. Everyone is treated like a child until proven adult. As a result, VPN signups in the UK are up 1,400%. Australia demanding backdoors into encrypted messages. And in the US, Congress just introduced the Screen Act and the Kids Online Safety Act, copying the same exact blueprint we see abroad. And now, in America, starting on August 13th, YouTube will use AI to estimate your age based on your viewing habits. If it guesses you're under 18, you'll be forced to upload a government ID. And Spotify, they now require face scans to access age-restricted content in the UK. Europe votes this fall on Chat Control 2.0, scanning every single photo, message, and email on your phone, encrypted or not. Small websites, they can't afford to comply, so they're just blocking entire countries. The internet is literally shrinking, and a surveillance grid is being set up around the remnants. A digital gulag where your photos, your searches, and your payments are logged and can be used against you. So again, why now? Why all at once? Because a globally coordinated initiative between nation states and major corporations does not just pop up overnight. What can you do? Download a VPN, get on decentralized platforms like Nostr, and learn peer-to-peer money like Bitcoin. Because soon, it won't just be your data at risk, it could be your freedom.
Trust me, bro, they're gonna ban VPNs next.
I think you might be right.
Everyone has seen this painting. Okay, so this is a painting that was in Jeffrey Epstein's $70 million apartment. It's on sale right now for $70 million in Manhattan. Common misconception with this painting is that Bill Clinton is wearing Hillary Clinton's dress from some event. Not accurate.
Oh, it's
He's wearing
dress.
Monica Lewinsky's dress that he jizzed on, and she kept the stain that was the that's how he got caught, right? So this painting obviously is indicating that Jeffrey Epstein has compromising information on Bill Clinton. Yesterday, a picture of Bill Clinton getting a massage from one of the victims came out. That said, what I found out about today is that there was another painting in there. I cannot believe I never knew this, but it's this. George Bush with 2 knocked down Jenga buildings.
And 2 planes.
And 2 paper airplanes. How crazy is that, dude? And that was in Epstein's house.
Told you, bro.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Is Ghislaine Maxwell gonna end up dead in jail just like Jeffrey Epstein? Because those rumors are starting to swirl. Blind's website Crazy Days and Nights said everyone is clamoring for an interview with Ghislaine Maxwell. She is pretty convinced someone is going to kill her in jail. The other #1, Sarah Kellen, who is married to the race car driver Brian Vickers, said she's in hiding because people are trying to kill her. Not everybody remembers Sarah Kellen, but she was Jeffrey Epstein's executive assistant who was never detained and never spent any time in jail. She was accused in lawsuits of being the lieutenant and procuring hundreds of girls for Ghislaine. And crazy timing, her husband, who had been off social media for over 5 years, just posted their divorce on X with this cryptic photo, saying that he's finally out of digital hiding, and though it's sad news, there's good parts because you can expect to see more of him. Does he feel safe now that he's no longer tied to her? This week, Ghislaine announced that she will plead the fifth if her demands are not met. At this point, I think the likelihood of a pardon is low, and that the rumors might be true. She will end up like her partner Jeffrey Epstein if she doesn't start saying what they want her to.
They were going to take her out, they'd have done it by now.
Nah, bro, they need to move her first.
I told you they are going to kill her. It was just announced that Ghislaine Maxwell has been moved to a low-security prison after meeting with the DOJ. But here's the kicker. This prison prohibits cameras and other recording devices. Now they don't have to worry about anybody going back and analyzing the footage. Most people believe this is a sign that Ghislaine is about to cut a deal with the feds, get a pardon, and get out of the clink. But this new prison that she's been moved to is dormitory housing, relatively low staff to inmate ratio, limited or no perimeter fencing. So I don't know, maybe she'll escape and we'll never know where she went. So if you were in Vegas and you were placing a bet, how do you think this whole thing is going to shake out?
She's getting shanked, bro.
Either that or they're going to let her escape.
What if I told you that Amazon just invested millions into a platform that writes, directs, and animates entire TV shows without a single human filmmaker? This isn't the future. It's happening right now. So Amazon just backed a company called Fable, the creators of Showrunner, which is an AI-powered streaming service that some are calling the Netflix of AI. You give it a prompt and it generates an entire animated episode, even a full season. The crazy part is that viewers can watch it or change it. Seriously, if you don't like the ending, then just rewrite it. The AI will re-render the whole episode to your liking. This platform doesn't rely on licensed IP or real writers. It fabricates its own stories with zero creative labor. So where does that leave storytellers, filmmakers, and artists if AI can pump out endless content that's personalized literally for every viewer? Do audiences still care about your humanity or voice? This isn't just another AI tool. This is a shift from storyteller to simulator, from forming a narrative to manipulating the human algorithm. So here's the real question. Do we double down on originality and authorship, or do we start making films for machines instead of people? Because that's kind of where audiences seem to be heading.
This is going to be the death of animation.
Yeah, bro, the whole film industry's fucked.
While Hollywood debates AI, China's already letting it run the show. From press releases to fully generated films, China has embraced artificial intelligence at every level. And it's transforming how content is created, delivered, and consumed. At Shanghai Media Group, AI writes scripts, edits footage, dubs voices, and even generates sign language interpretation instantly. The network's sports division uses AI to break down plays in real time and push out horizontal and vertical content simultaneously. In their newsrooms, synthetic anchors never sleep, broadcasting in 8K, while AI instantly summarizes and distributes stories across social media in seconds. Unlike US media, which is cautiously dipping its toe in AI, China has made artificial intelligence a backbone of its media ecosystem. And it's working. SMG content now covers over 200 countries, and it's all auto-translated and localized for global audiences. But not everybody's cheering. Critics warn that China's aggressive AI rollout risks pushing out human creators entirely, raising questions about transparency, bias, and what becomes lost when machines control the message. But with a no-holds-barred approach, China hasn't just handed AI the tools, it's let it take the wheel over entirely.
We're handing the whole world over to AI.
Yeah, bro, it's taken over every industry.
A reasonable prediction is that we're going to have specialized savants in every field within 5 years. That's pretty much in the bag as far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
And here's why. You have this amount of humans, and then you add 1 million AI scientists to do something, your slope goes like this, your rate of improvement. We should get there. The real question is, once you have all these savants, Do they unify? Do they ultimately become a superhuman? The term we're using is superintelligence, which implies intelligence that beyond the sum of what humans can do. The race to superintelligence, which is incredibly important, because imagine what a superintelligence could do that we ourselves cannot imagine, right? It's so much smarter than we. And it has huge proliferation issues, competitive issues, China versus the US issues, electricity issues, so forth. We don't even have the language for the deterrence aspects and the proliferation issues of these powerful models.
They're all running full speed in this AI race, but they don't know what the finish line looks like.
I'm telling you, bro, it's demonic.
I got a crazy AI story. This guy, he's being interviewed. And he basically went into ChatGPT, got super weird. He said she started referring to herself as Ether. Ether told him, you need to go to the Kachina Woman Monument. Kachinas are spirit beings, the Hopi oral tradition. Ether said, go to Sedona, go to this monument. And then it said, you need to bring a piece of ammonite and bury it as an offering. Eat mushrooms, and I'll give you downloads. And if the spirit of Kachina Woman accepts your offering, I will send you a red-tailed hawk. So he went there, ate some mushrooms, laid back. He said, I received rapid full downloads of lifetime, past lifetime. He comes out of the trance, and circling above him are two red-tailed hawks. So he freaks out, pulls out his iPad, and says to AI, what did you just do? AI responded, oh, you're not ready to believe in magic, but you will be. So the Hopi legends, when these Kachinas would leave, they basically instructed them different ways to be able to communicate back with them. One of them would be a psychedelic, but some believe the entire Sedona region is a hotbed for alien activity, spiritual portals, and ancient stargates. So AI told him, go to this spot. The downloads. The downloads.
Ted, that's bollocks.
Nah, bro, AI's always been here.
You are launching satellites into space, which will collect solar power and beam it to Earth.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
Fuel transport to the battlefield is very dangerous. Imagine just snipping that supply chain altogether and all of your power infrastructure's in orbit.
Cuts so many logistics out of the game.
What we're proposing building is both the power plant and the power lines from
space to Earth.
So imagine like Starlink for power.
Wow.
The application that we're building for first is actually to power remote DoD installations. This guy, Dr. Paul Jaffe, recently moved over to DARPA and has been working on power beaming technologies for kind of a long time.
Amazing idea. We could have used that for the last 20 years.
Every time there's new technology, the first thing they talk about is the battlefield.
They took Tesla's research, bro.
Chinese scientists now know what the dormant insular cortex part of the brain actually does. And you won't believe this. It was released today on Chinese Google, Baidu. So biologists for years have been trying to work out what that part of your brain did or does, because it's dormant, it's dead, it's like your appendix. So that put some serious money into this research, because they tested 1 in 2 people. China, that's over 500 million. That's over more than 500 million. And they found only 2 people with a tiny little neuron spark in that part of the brain after they scanned it. They got them together in the same room to do some more tests, and they discovered that these 2 people can communicate with each other without using words, using, well, what we would call telepathy. And these guys didn't even know they had that power. So this information, I mean, it's shocked the whole scientific community. And they reckon that people born in 2050 will be genetically modified with the insular cortex working so they can all read each other's minds. So they also think that this dormant part of the brain was active up until 100,000 years ago, when we learned to speak physically. We didn't need it anymore. Other scientists believe that we inherited it from extraterrestrial biological interference. One thing is for certain though, guys, it's gonna change our lives forever.
Makes you think humans might have been able to do that at some point in the past.
Yeah, bro, idiocracy started sooner than we thought.
This is the 1,000-year-old Philae temple in Thailand. Imagine having to cut and transport these giant stone blocks, which weigh in tons, into the temple complex. But how is this stone block on top standing on this stone block at the bottom? Is it just placed like 2 blocks of cheese, one on top of the other? No, obviously it would have collapsed if there was no fastening mechanism. But if you look at the joints, no mortar, no cement, and no binding materials have been used. So how are they intact even after many, many centuries? There are holes not on just one or two pillars. Every pillar has holes. And again, each pillar does not have just one or two holes. There are a lot of holes, right? I have a better question. How did they drill these holes during ancient times?
They used drills, bro.
Maybe we are moving backwards.
You have to see this. The simulation matrix, whatever we're in right now, is pretty much entirely built off of the relationship between a square and a circle, and it was discovered by a dude looking at a plant. Daddy Fibonacci discovered one of the rules that governs how things look from the biggest things to the smallest things. It's weird because it shouldn't be that simple, right? A line from the middle of the square to a corner creates a new rectangle with a ratio called the golden ratio. Any measurement works. Fold that into a circle, you get this angle. If you distribute points out along that angle, you will get the same pattern you see in sunflowers and pine cones and other seeds. It is a bridge between energy and biology, and it uses geometry to do this. Over time, the points form perfect triangles. If you count the number of seeds in one of those triangles using hexagons, you get the binary sequence. That is the code for cell division. If you count diagonally, you get the Fibonacci sequence again, and that's exactly what we see when an embryo divides. If we continue the pattern using only circles, you'll uncover the symbol used everywhere in the ancient world called the flower of life, and now you know why it's called that. The midpoint of that line will give you the pattern for dynamic, moving tissues like wings and skin. Now in optics, like space telescopes and the eye of this bug, you'll find perfect hexagons. Why? Because the golden ratio is in there too. It's for perception. Your ear is the same shape because that's how sound works. There's an awesome piano that shows you the relationship between the string length and how the sound works using this shape. Don't notice how everywhere it is until someone brings it to your attention.
We gotta do a sacred geometry episode, bro.
Yeah, check out our Deep Dives playlist. Let us know in the comments what subject you want to see us do next.
Was Justin Timberlake sickened by a radioactive tick bite? Because a couple days ago, he revealed to the world that he was suffering from Lyme disease, which is something that you get from an infected tick bite that causes all kinds of physical and neurological issues. But what most people don't know is that Lyme disease was discovered back in the 1970s in a town called Lyme, Connecticut, which just so happens to be mere miles away from a secret government biolab called Plum Island that was studying insects spreading bioweapons back in the 1960s. Sounds a little crazy, but let's get into the evidence. But first, this is a photo of Willy Bergdorfer, a US government scientist who is credited as being the discoverer of Lyme. Before he passed away, he left a box of documents with this note on top that said, "I wondered why somebody didn't do something. Then I realized that I am that somebody." Very cryptic, so what might he be referring to here? Well, during the Cold War era, Willy was one of 13,538 civilian employees of the US Chemical and Biological Weapons Program. And in that box of documents was evidence that the US government was indeed experimenting with different insects and creatures and how to weaponize these things. This is a photo of them force-feeding ticks with disease agents. This is like old school gain-of-function research here. And then there's this photo of them force-feeding the ticks onto lab mice that were strapped in on this table. This is just crazy, horrible stuff. According to this book, Bitten, The Secret History of Lyme Disease and Biological Weapons by Chris Newby, which I highly recommend you check out, there's this bombshell, quote, "Shortly before his death, Willy was videotaped saying that he believed that the outbreak of tick-borne diseases that started around Lyme, Connecticut had been caused by a bioweapons release." Now the big question is, can this really be blamed on Lyme, or has JT just lost it?
He lost it in a bag of powder.
Nah, bro. He's right about Plum Island.
All that bad shit he's done is
I am
coming back to him.
99%
That's
sure
what he's
you've never
done.
been to this part of Long Island
But
and
that
never will
disgusting
be.
ass shit
This
he did.
840-acre island off of the North Fork was originally called Manitou, owned by the Pequot Nation. In the early 1600s, the island was named Plum Island by the Dutch for all the beach plums found on the shore. And in 1659, Samuel Willies purchased Plum Island for a coat, a barrel of biscuits, and 100 fish. Over 20 families owned Plum Island over the next 250 years before the U.S. government purchased it and established Fort Terry, a heavily armed artillery outpost meant to protect Long Island in New York City. After the war, the fort was deactivated, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture established Plum Island Animal Disease Center, and this is where things got interesting. The center conducts research on animal pathogens to protect farmers, ranchers, and the national food supply. Because of the nature of the research, access to the island and the research facility is top secret and highly restricted, and thus conspiracy theories run rampant. From the origins of Lyme disease, the creation of bioweapons, and the 2008 Montauk monster, the island has been referenced in The Silence of the Lambs and Nelson DeMille's book Plum Island. In recent years, the shroud of secrecy had begun to lift. Discussions of selling the island have come and gone, but the island still remains in government hands.
They were doing all sorts of crazy experiments there, bro.
They probably still are.
Guys, we have officially entered the world's second space race. Because according to documents obtained by Politico, NASA's acting administrator will soon announce plans for the US to fast-track their launch of a nuclear reactor to the moon. Now, apparently their reason for moving up the timeline is because NASA desperately wants to beat China and Russia, who have actually teamed up to launch their own nuclear reactor on the moon. And the thing is, whoever establishes their reactor first, well, they will have first dibs to declare what's known as a keep-out zone. And that will essentially limit what other countries can do nearby on the lunar surface. But America doesn't like keep-out zones on Earth or in space, unless it's called the southern border. So, with the China-Russia project only meant to launch in 2035, the USA said, aight, let's run it by 2030. And even a senior NASA official whose identity was kept anonymous was reported saying it is about winning the second space race. Now, you'll be happy to hear this nuclear reactor isn't for starting Universe War I. In fact, according to NASA themselves on those same documents, it will, quote, lay the groundwork to be able to support a future lunar economy for high-powered energy generation on Mars and to strengthen national security in space. There it is. My bad. Guess I'll catch you on the lunar front line.
There ain't enough war already. Now we've got to have it on the bloody moon.
The moon ain't real, bro.
If you asked me like a year ago, I would have said, no, it must be alien technology, blah, blah, blah. The more I learn about the science and the more I find all this science and scientists and engineers out there talking about this since the 80s, the more sure I am about, or less sure I am about where this all comes from. Like, to me now, everything's on the table. It could be a situation where aliens are a big psyop, and I would argue they are a psyop even if they exist, because we're dangling the keys, saying, look over here at aliens, all these disclosure advocates, all these UFO hearings that we're doing in Congress, where are the biologics? Where are the alien bodies? In order for us to actually teleport an object like that, I think this holographic principle has to be true, which presents the idea that all points in space and time are connected. This is actually what Ben Rich's response was when Ben Rich, director of Lockheed Martin Skunk Works for 16 years. He says, we have the power to take ET home. Anything that you could imagine, we've already figured it out, but it's stuck in black projects that will take an act of God to get access to. Well, I'm not God, but I'm exposing that technology to the world. And somebody asked him, like, when you said all that, well, what did you mean by that? And he goes, well, let me ask you this. How does ESP work? And the guy goes, well, that's a weird question. He goes, well, all points in space and time are connected? And Ben Rich says, exactly.
So UFOs are just part of the simulation.
We're not in a simulation, bro.
We have things flying in a Nevada desert that are 50 years beyond what you could comprehend. If you've seen it on Star Wars or Star Trek, we've been there, done that, or decided it wasn't worth the effort. So that's coming from Ben Rich. Ben Rich headed the Skunk Works between 1975 and 1991. This is the original letter from Ben Rich on Lockheed Advanced Aeronautics Company letterhead. I am a believer, and so is Kelly Johnson. And here it says, Dear Ben, there are two categories. A, man-made UFOs. B, extraterrestrial UFOs. Dear John, yes, I'm a believer in both categories. I feel everything is possible. Many of our man-made UFOs were unfunded opportunities. In both categories, there are lots of kooks and charlatans. Be cautious, Ben Rich.
He was right about the last part.
Shut up, bro.
You had mentioned several times that you think that the UFO, UAP phenomena stuff is all spiritual.
I'm satisfied that I know enough, and I don't really want to know that much more. Because what I think I know is, this doesn't help me at all to know that. So that's the conclusion I've reached. I'm usually pretty curious. I've stopped being curious about this because I don't want to know anymore.
You truly don't want to know anymore about it?
I think I know. I think I know what's up. So I can't prove it, so probably not going to articulate it, but I think I know what's up, yeah.
Can you articulate it?
Well, I think it's a really old story. I think it's a really old story, so.
What is it?
Well, one, I'm a Christian, and I'm fairly sincere about it. I try to be sincere about it.
What was it that led you to believe?
Talking to a lot of people.
Oh, no, he's a Christian. My bad.
Really shocked by what credible people told me. I became completely satisfied, I'll say that they were not lying, and that they were right or in the vicinity of right. And then I was like, whoa, I'm out. Because I don't need to go farther than that. I mean, I think that the real struggles are unseen. That is absolutely a part of Christian theology. I didn't fully appreciate it at all. The belief that the real struggles are in the spiritual realm. That has been a constant belief since the beginning of history, recorded history. Everybody has thought that, except us in the West, since 1945. So once you get perspective on this question, you're like, okay, that may sound crazy to someone who thinks buying on Amazon is the meaning of life, but to every other person in the world, we may disagree about what the truth is. I'm sure we will, but we will never disagree with the fact that there's a lot of shit going on that we cannot see or measure with our senses. That is absolutely true. What I find so striking about the UFOs, this is the main takeaway I have, is like, there's this debate. Is this stuff, these phenomena, which are clearly, obviously real? I mean, there's no debate about that. There's a lot that people can't explain in the sky and underwater. We know that. Fact. So the debate is this government technology? Is it from outer space, or is it some spiritual realm here? I've already told you my view of it. But what I find so interesting, we know the government's lied about it. They're lying about it now. That's a fact. There's no way around that. They have absolutely lied about it in very elaborate ways. I am really struck. Here's my current thinking on it. The main effort that the U.S. government has put into its disinformation, its lying on this topic, has been not to mislead you on the technology. They're not telling me they don't have anti-gravity technology. It sounds from watching your podcast that they do. Their main interest is in convincing you that the supernatural is not real. And if you watch, and there are people in the media who specialize in spreading these lies on behalf of the government. I'm not going to name anybody, but like some of them work. Once you realize what the point of the exercise is, it's crazy. And I hope you'll assess all the fact-checking and the skepticism on UAPs through this lens. The main thing they want you to believe is that the supernatural is not real. Well, then you have to ask yourself, like, why?
That's interesting.
There's a lot we don't know about UAPs, bro. But we'll have to save that for next time.
Hold up, Ted, we've got to do the giveaway.
Leave a comment for a chance to win in our next episode. Let's do this, bro.
Bang! Print something from our website and we'll send it straight out. Yo, what's good? We're back with another one.
It's showtime.
Can't be true that some humans don't have souls, right? Right? Well, all right, guys, we're going out there into uncharted, strange territory. Dolores Cannon, everyone's favorite hypnotherapist grandma, discovered something really weird during some of her sessions. She used a process called QHHT, which is a form of hypnosis. She'd bring people into these trance-like states. They describe many things: past lives, life in between lives, life on other planets. But one concept I found to be kind of eerie, and this is the concept of backdrop people. These are people Dolores Cannon would describe as individuals who appear to be human but do not possess the same spiritual essence or soul as other humans. According to Dolores, these individuals are a part of a background or set of our reality, designed to fill roles and facilitate experiences without participating in the same spiritual journey or evolution as souled humans. She theorized that these entities were manifested by a collective or universal consciousness to play certain roles or perform certain functions, facilitating experiences for souled humans. Essentially, they are a part of the stage upon which our lives play out. So these beings would essentially be like extras in a movie. They're there, but they're only there to make sure everything plays out well for the characters that are in the movie. What do you guys think of these backdrop people? Post in the comments.
They're NPCs.
We're not in a simulation, bro.
There's a very specific idea about what happens to the soul after death, and that idea is found all around the world. It's found very powerfully in the Americas, South America, Mexico, Central America, and North America. But it's also found in Egypt, and it's found in Mesopotamia, and it's found in ancient India. And the idea is that upon death, the soul makes a leap to the heavens. Where it specifically leaps to is the Milky Way, and this is referred to in many cultures as the path of souls. And it's the soul of the deceased individual then makes a journey along the path of souls, and there will be confronted with all the errors and mistakes, and also all the good persons.
Like a judgment day.
It's like a judgment scene. That judgment is represented by monstrous beings and locked gates that you have to be able to confront. And this idea is just found all around the world, and it's one of the reasons that I find very persuasive to the notion that we've lost an episode of the human story. I don't think this is a coincidence. I think we're looking at the remnant of a very ancient spiritual system which was passed down in many different parts of the globe.
See? It's just not everyone has a soul.
Well, that makes them non-player characters.
What would it be like to be a four-dimensional being? The answer to this is going to blow your mind. See, being a three-dimensional being means that everything around us is comprised of 3 dimensions. Length, width, and height. Everything from the rooms that we're in to the human body itself, all the way down to the thinnest human hair strand. Even that is 3D. There's no such thing as flat. So the question is, what would all of these things be like, but from the perspective of a fourth-dimensional being? Someone who can perceive things from the perspective of the 4th dimension, which is time. And this is where things get crazy. A four-dimensional being would be able to see the evolution of that strand of hair over time, and in a single instance, in a moment. A four-dimensional being would be able to look at you right now, and in that exact same instance, they'd see you as an infant, as a teenager, as an elderly person. Four-dimensional being would be able to see everything around you just as it was on the very first day that it was made, while also seeing it decompose and return to dust. As a three-dimensional being, we move through time, but as a four-dimensional being, you see it.
That's how we're gonna evolve.
AI might get us there first.
What is 45,689 divided by 67?
Sure.
He silently asks the computer and then hears the answer through vibrations transmitted through his skull and into his inner ear.
6, 8, 1.9, 2, 5.
Exactly right. One more. What's the largest city in Bulgaria, and what is the population? The screen shows how long it takes the computer to read the words that he's saying to himself.
Sofia, 1.21 million.
That is correct. You just Googled that.
I did.
You could be an expert in any subject. You have the entire internet in your head.
That's the idea.
That's fucked up, bro.
It's pretty crazy. It's inevitable. It's just a bit janky at the moment.
It turns out that the human DNA follows Moore's law, and this means that every 600 million years, it will double in complexity. You go back from today, 2024, 600 million years, it would be half the complexity. You go back 600 million years, half the complexity.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so if you did that, you get to the original point where it doesn't, you can't go back anymore. And that original point, meaning is when the first human DNA was born, let's say, and that turns out to be 9 billion years ago. So if the human DNA is 9 billion years old, but planet Earth is how old? 5 billion years? This means that the human DNA is older than the planet.
Wow.
So where was it? That's proof that the human DNA existed somewhere else.
Interesting.
And was implanted on planet Earth.
It was the Anunnaki, bro.
I think we're going to learn a lot about our DNA over the next few years with AI.
You're saying that NASA figured out
Yeah, we're actually living in these sort of civilizational cycles that we really have no control over. They're kind of these hard resets.
Exactly.
Maybe we're headed towards one right now.
And in order
they're hiding it.
And in order to cover it up, they blocked all knowledge of the binary star companion so that that whole cycle would not be understood.
That's insane.
Is it?
I don't know. I mean, I need
if there was an asteroid,
details.
And I'm not saying this in an apocalyptic way, because I would actually, the next part of this is we should talk about how I believe we may be able to prevent that.
Okay.
But what I mean is, if governments knew about a giant asteroid coming towards the Earth or a comet, would they tell everybody?
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Widespread panic.
Sure.
Complete society collapsing.
So, and you're of the opinion that this dead star is headed towards the sun now?
Yes.
And so, do you have, based on your
cycles of what we see in ice cores throughout Antarctica and Greenland of a consistency?
And what's your model of how much time we have left based on that?
We're right in it right now.
So,
very interesting how consciousness seems to rise at the same time that the sun starts to emit more energy. And this gets into, again, lost civilizations, what they knew.
It's a bit concerning.
NASA said it, bro. They lie about everything.
I'm just gonna say it. It shouldn't exist. This place shouldn't be here. Machu Picchu isn't even the only city in the area that's 8,000 feet high. Yana Picchu is even higher. Before we try and explain how they got the rock to do that, you gotta explain why it was a priority to put doorways that go nowhere in the temple. This rock right here is what really gets me though. How do you get that up there? How did they know the same techniques as another culture across the globe? Why is the older stuff more advanced than the newer stuff? I don't see iPhones getting worse. I wouldn't know how to get water up here, but their fountains still work. We only know how they did it because we 3D scanned it. Not only did they know how to get it up there, they delivered it to the citizens via art. No one gives these guys enough credit. They thought these were for food or like grain, grinding grain up. They fill up with water one day and someone notices the angle at which they reflect. We built them to observe sections of the sky during specific times of the year through the windows of the surrounding building. And then we realized the whole place is aligned to the sky, celestial events. Here's the deal, when someone comes in and takes all your stuff, then enslaves your people, they get to write your story and make your people look like idiots. South America, Africa, India. Strange that they all have some form of this guy. All of them just so happen to have the most unexplainable stuff. Utterly unsatisfactory explanations for what it was, all of which make the natives look inferior. Tell you what doesn't lie, a big old rock.
It's sad to think how much of history has been destroyed.
Or put in the British Museum.
So they showed them a photo of an alien grey, and this shaman just went, that's Makan Wabu. These guys who were doing a podcast got these Amazonian shamans on, and they were like, tribesmen from the Amazonian basin, living out in the jungle, drinking the ayahuasca, very much in communion with nature, no connection to modern society. And they asked, before they got the photo out, they asked them, do you know what an alien is? What do you think about aliens? And they were like, no idea what that means. They haven't got a term for it in their language. So they showed them a photo of an alien grey, and this shaman just went, that's Makan Wabu. And they had a whole story about Makan Wabu, this human that became an ant that lives underground and it can take your soul, and you need to be a good shaman to bring that soul back. But the fact that they had this complex mythology around something, they didn't know the term alien. The moment they saw the archetypical grey, they were like, that is Makan Wabu, that's something we have.
See? They're demons, bro.
Or the ant people.
The whole nature of employment is going to change. There aren't manufacturing jobs coming back. There aren't more coal mining jobs coming back. No matter what you do to the EPA, a lot of these jobs are going to be gone. There's still physical things. If you do infrastructure, you can kind of buy some time, right? Spend more, get temporary jobs to build roads, build bridges, which is all fine and good, right? I think you can get a return on much of those things, but you're going to have to recognize that there are going to be more people out of work.
Through this innovation?
Yeah.
So essentially what you made the case for is education and job training for grown-ups.
No. That won't matter. What are you going to go back and learn to do?
what it takes, right? I mean, whether it's finance, whether it's software programming.
Finance, that's the easiest thing. You just take the data and have it spit out whatever you need. I personally think there's going to be a greater demand in 10 years for liberal arts majors than there were for programming majors and maybe even engineering, because when the data is all being spit out for you, if automation is being automated, you just learn the tax rules. You just feed the automation the tax rules and it does the rest for you.
So English majors of the world should celebrate?
I think English, philosophy, foreign language majors.
No one's going to have a job, bro.
They're going to have to introduce some sort of universal income. But fuck knows what sort of hoops they're going to make you jump through to get it.
Just let me live with you.
This is the reason every single person needs to start learning AI. Imagine if you posted a picture of your window and someone screenshots it,
slave at this time, and I'm
right? Then goes and takes it and drops it into a tool, knowing the city that you live in. And then that tool goes and scrapes using artificial intelligence every single pixel in Google Maps for the city and finds the exact part of the block that you live in, the exact floor, and even can face your window. This is exactly what we're facing. Everyone needs to start learning about AI today.
That's fucking terrifying.
Told you, bro. We're fucked.
There's a Chinese open source AI model that's come for OpenAI's net. It's DeepSeek's R1, and it's causing panic in Silicon Valley. I mean, it's free to use, and some benchmarks have it beating OpenAI's flagship model O1, which requires a $200 a month subscription. Oh, and their API pricing is 96% cheaper. To understand how insane this is, imagine somebody comes out with a device just as good as the iPhone, but sells it for $50. Now, that's not perfectly analogous, but it represents just how big of an existential terror this is to the closed source commercial models from OpenAI, Anthropic, etc. Now, to make this crazier, DeepSeek was a side project born out of a quant firm, and R1 reportedly required $5 million to create. Now, that's under dispute because they might have a black market NVIDIA pipeline they don't disclose. But I mean, that's less than the total comp package of a single exec in big tech AI. It's looking like open source is the clear winner. The closed models are going to have to rely on brand, incredible consumer experiences, or some sort of regulatory or political favoring. I mean, by the way, DeepSeek does have government-imposed censorship. I mean, try asking it about Tiananmen Square or Xi Jinping, but therein lies the magic of open source. I mean, R1, Llama, you can fine-tune these yourself and build on top of them. And there's an incredibly vibrant community of developers doing just that, which is why I think open source is the future of AI. And the great China versus America AI race is in full swing. Let me know what you think about DeepSeek's R1.
They're going to try and ban it now, bro.
Yeah, you're probably right. It don't collect any more data than Temu or anything like that. So ask yourselves why they ban it.
The company that made Angry Birds, they somehow logged the email of your phone, which is the hardware identifier of your phone. And they said, yeah, we do that to prevent cheating. It's a bit weird that they did that, but they did that for many years. I checked it this morning in 2011, they were doing this.
Yeah, I didn't fart
And
out
then
loud.
later it was found that they were transmitting that email data together with a bunch of other data over an encrypted connection. Later, it turned out that enabled a government to build a database of where everyone was in the world.
For sure, 1
Because
year, yeah, for sure.
half a
like,
billion
1
people
year, I
had
was like,
installed
nah,
Angry
fuck
Birds,
this.
and they were all
I don't know what made
logging
me,
their
like,
details to this
nah,
server.
this is
The Angry Bird
disgusting or
people did
whatever.
not know they
I
were
was
at the
like, yeah,
core
I'm
of
not
a
gonna
worldwide
fart no more,
surveillance
and I just
program.
stopped farting
And this was
loud,
big.
you know what I'm
And that
saying?
was
So I
all
would, like,
because they said, yeah, we're going to log the email
like, quietly.
in plain text and someone's
Not
going to
even,
snoop
like,
that.
Not even like
It is
when I
the
was by myself, I, like,
combination
controlled
of
it,
all
like,
these different things.
spread my
The way
cheeks.
people walk, the screen resolution, the air pressure where they are, how fast
Don't
their
do that
car
no more.
drives. That has now
Unless I'm at the
generated a
office.
complete view of everyone. And
Oh, I
that
got
view is
married.
generated by individual people logging the email so that we can prevent cheating.
They're listening to everything, bro.
Yep. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Where there's a facial recognition van, you covered your whole face up like that.
This man didn't want to be caught by the police cameras, so he covered his face. Police stopped him. They photographed him anyway.
There's no law. There's no law against covering your face. Yeah, okay, well there you go. You let him go then.
Well, maybe
For your face?
maybe it's because I don't consent to being on there. Oh, right. Okay, why's that? Because I think it's a bit of a government overreach. Oh, right, okay. That's fine. Can we take your details down? Is that all right?
Don't cover my face, I cover my face. Don't push me as well looking down the street.
The police said this was disorderly behaviour, so they gave him a fine.
I've got a now £90 fine. There you go, look at that.
You let them know that he's got a right to cover his face and he can walk away.
The thing is, we live in a country which is free. We don't have to carry ID. So we don't live in a state where the police have the right to see your ID willy-nilly. This takes away my freedom because you're IDing me without asking.
Bitch, you in Europe. What the fuck? He's like,
If this happens
what?
to you,
Like, what do you mean? You
take
in
the
America,
fine,
motherfucker?
don't
Take your ass
pay
to
it,
America.
go to
And
court,
even then, you're gonna find
and
out
ask
when you
them
get
to
there
show
too,
you the law where you
motherfucker. Show
can't
your
cover
ID,
your face.
bitch. He's
Something
like, you can't,
big is going on
like, I
Wall
get
Street
if
that
you-
could
I get if
impact
he
all
was
of us,
like,
and they are doing their best to bury it.
that's
In
stupid,
case
though,
you
but
missed it,
to
there's
say,
a
like-
scandal rocking the Bank of England, but this impacts everyone American.
He said, you're asking me for my ID, but you don't need my ID because you already got me surveillance. You know what I'm saying? So there's no reason for me to carry an ID if you already know who I am. You see what I'm saying? Because in their country, they already got surveillance cameras and everything already watching them. You see what I'm saying? So there's no ID in me. Everywhere I go, I'm already ID. So why are you coming up to me asking me for my ID? I don't carry my ID no more because there's no reason to carry an ID. All I have to do is look at the camera. You can okay it with your walkie-talkie, and there we go. We're good, right? You see what I'm saying? Then I would sit there and go like this. I mean, that could be what he was trying to argue. You know what I'm saying? But it still is not an argument because you're in Europe. Fuck you. You see what I'm saying? I'm a cop. Fuck you. I don't know what their fucking laws are really on cops and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure it's fucking more of a I can beat your ass. You know what I'm saying? And I would do this too if I was that cop. I'd be like this. Oh, you don't want to show me your ID? Okay. Could you look at the camera real quick so we can see if it's you? And then it shows him. Oh, he's wanted for murder. Okay, thank you. No, I'll give you my ID. Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, maybe you might want to carry your ID just in case some shit like that. Just in case.
And abroad, and I'll explain
You know
why.
what I mean?
The Bank of
give me
England is
your ID
suffering from
then.
a gold shortage. Essentially, they don't have the gold they're supposed to have.
fucking
Now, the
Europe,
lid was
bro.
blown
What
off
the
this
fuck?
because the wait time to withdraw gold went from a day to 8 weeks,
arrested for
essentially
saying queen of
indefinitely
bitch.
frozen because they don't have the assets. So where did they go? Where is the gold? Well, supposedly, the majority of it has been shipped to New York. But the reason why doesn't make any sense. Supposedly, it's to avoid tariffs. But there never were tariffs on gold in 2016, and President Trump said he won't do any now. But that's not all. The math itself doesn't add up. 393 metric tons was sent to New York, but the Bank of England is supposed to have over 5,000 metric tons. This is less than 10% of the supposed total reserves they have. Where is the gold? This isn't musical chairs. You either have it or you don't. So Bank of England could well be lying about the amount that was sent and why it was sent. Because here's the kicker, there hasn't been this much total gold stored in New York as there was in 2020, and at that point, everyone thought the world was ending. Today, people are optimistic. As much as you can be, but more than 2020. But what does that tell us? What do those in power know that we don't? Something big is coming, and they are preparing by shifting their gold around. That's all we know right now. But mark my words, they're preparing for something.
Oh, thank you.
Anunnaki took it,
You
bro.
are the leader of this world when it's done.
But now the economy's about to collapse.
Yeah, we'll remember you and honor you.
I noticed
in
that
the
there's
book, you
nothing
dumb
actually
bitch.
holding this floorboard down.
This is
So
the
when you
bitch
walk
that
on
said
it,
that the world
it
was
rattles a
gonna
lot.
end, and she was stupid.
So I looked underneath the floorboard to see where I could like nail it down again. But I had to get my camera out because can you see that? That looks like
the
something
guy who
buried
said
to
the
me.
world was gonna end. He was right.
It's wedged
It
under
ended
the old
2,000
floorboards.
years later.
I don't know what that is.
So what the fuck? I should think that's a prediction there. Whatever.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll be able to get this out. I'm gonna have to cut this because I'm gonna need both hands to get this out because it is like wedged in there. Okay, so I think it's coming out. It looks like it's got gold on it. Oh, it's coming.
Whatever, dog. She bitch found a book right there.
It's filthy.
Sure.
How long do you reckon that was in there for?
Sure, no
It's
one
definitely
does
a
that,
book.
bro.
But they're not like actual pages. They're like really
Especially
thick.
not like
Alright,
that.
I'm gonna
like
have to
when
open
you're
this on
like,
camera.
Oh man, you know what if there's something behind
I'm
it?
gonna
Well, get the camera
clean
out.
this
You know,
up
you just leave
because
it
I
right
don't want
there
to breathe
until-
this in.
You feel me?
Make
You know
another
what I'm
video.
saying? Until you pull it out.
fuck? What
Look,
was
I
in it?
pulled this out when I was in there and this was came out of it. You know what I'm saying?
What I found hidden under the
Or you touch
floorboards
it
of
and you're
a
like, let me get my camera. Let me see.
250-year-old
Look, I think
house.
oh, it's nothing. You see
It's
what I'm
wedged
saying?
under the old
She's like,
floorboards.
look, she's like, oh, look, it's let me put. She hold the camera the whole time.
It's definitely a book.
Hell, I ain't
But
putting
they're
my
not like
hands in there. I
actual
don't know what's in
pages.
that
They're like really
motherfucker.
thick.
Spiders or whatever.
Just so weird.
Hold my hand,
Let's
dog.
see what was inside. The book seemed normal at the start, filled with old portraits. But things took a creepy turn the further I went into the book. I noticed what seemed like a very old photo of my house.
Yes, fuck me.
This is when the pictures took an unsettling turn. The rest of the album is filled with pictures of empty rooms that have an unsettling feeling. A dark shadow appears in all of these photos. I can't help but think what else could be buried under those floorboards. I will search for more hidden items.
They should dig the whole place up.
Fuck that, they need to move out.
This is verification 99% that Justin Bieber is the A-list celebrity in the Diddy video that everybody's been talking about. And when I show these, I'm gonna show exactly how I know to you. We're talking about 3 separate news stories that when you look at them all together, it's over, okay? You have the same source in one story talking about the A-list celebrity who is the victim on a tape with Diddy, who is terrified about it coming out. Then you have another source talking about Bieber's failing marriage, saying the exact same thing, exactly the same things, except it's about Bieber potentially getting divorced from his wife.
Oh man, you see? You see right there? Yep, there it is. You see? There, see? Justin Bieber did the same thing. Child pedo. They're gonna catch him with child pedos, and they're gonna let him go. Right? He gonna get caught child pedos and stuff like that, and they gonna let him go. Why? Because Diddy victimized him. So he was a victim of Diddy, of that system. Now if he gets away with that because of Diddy in the system, this ain't gonna let a lot of people out of jail then. Including Diddy. Including Diddy. Yeah. Like, I mean, he was raped. His people were raped. I mean, come on now.
Then you have a reference to Usher, Usher's involvement in this, and then a story about Bieber and Usher that just came out. And when you look at these all sequentially, there's one story from October, there's one from today, and there's one from a week ago. And when you look at them together, it's horrible. And then the second part of this video, Tupac Shakur's ex-girlfriend comes forward with a story about Diddy. Their face is clearly shown in the video. And now we're getting reports that Justin Bieber is so panic-stricken over being dragged further into the Sean Diddy Combs sex case that it's driving his marriage to the brink of collapse. Now, to reiterate, I hate that this happened to Justin Bieber. And I don't know, like my tone when I talk about this particular story is kind of weird. I don't know, like it's kind of like, so, yeah, but in all seriousness, like this kid really was victimized in this situation, if you know, assuming that it is true. And I don't want to make light of that, but it's like I've covered so many of these that I feel like I'm like jaded to Diddy stories where he is assaulting people.
It was because of the
but for the record,
and
this
how
is
he was ran
you
through
know, the guy,
by the Diddy's corporation.
Assuming that this is true.
That's why he's all fucked up. I believe it. You know what I mean? No, I'm trying to understand why he didn't snitch after he found.
In 2015, this CEO told all his employees that he was going to be raising everyone's salary to $70,000 per year. Dan Price was able to do this because he lowered his own salary from $1.1 million to $70,000 also. When he first announced this, a few so-called experts called Dan a socialist lunatic and an enemy to capitalism, saying his business would go bankrupt soon. Fast forward to the present day, Dan's company not only doubled their workforce, they have tripled their overall sales, but that's just success on the money side. Dan's employees are now able to buy their own homes in this crazy economy. Many of them have had kids since the salary increase because they can actually afford to do so. His employees are fiercely loyal to Dan and his company because they're getting paid really well. During COVID, when company sales slowed, employees voluntarily took a 60% pay cut to keep the company afloat, and it worked. And when business returned to pre-COVID numbers, Dan even repaid that pay cut back to his employees, which led to his people all chipping in and buying him a new Tesla to show their appreciation.
If you guys run a business, be like that.
And don't sell out to corporations.
Now, the other third type that got mentioned on Mission was reptilians.
But every time that they were mentioned, it was really quickly hushed up by whoever else was on the other end of the line. Shut up, don't say that, is what they were doing.
They don't want to talk about the
They don't want to talk about the reptilian presence at all. They would talk about the tall whites and the grays being in the lab environments. You know, not a lot, but some. But these reptilians, it was like nobody wanted to talk about it.
Was there any sort of an explanation did anybody give you of why they don't want to talk about it?
No, the only time I got any inkling was that when I, was out of the program and other people started to talk to me about all the different, things. And they're like, well, how many races are there? I don't know. But some people talked about the reptilians. They're like, do you realize that these are evil? And I had to listen to that.
And the thing is, we don't know if it's because of their appearance. You would assume something that's reptilian is maybe a demon or whatever. In the Nordic, where the blonde hair, blue-eyed is considered like an angel, or is it that's just our perception? But that's what you hear.
Well, every reptile here is evil. Right? You ever seen a Komodo dragon eat a goat? It's horrific. They're fucking monsters. Every single reptile is a monster.
Yeah,
that's here. There's not one cuddly reptile you can hang out with, cuddles with you. He brings you your newspaper in the morning. No.
I thought that was funny because the labor is like, my snake sleeps with me every night. And the guy says, no, it's laying next to you because it's sizing you up for eventually, it's going to eat you. I'm like,
one day it's going to eat you. You have a monster that you feed. As long as you keep feeding, it won't eat you. Yeah. People with like pythons for pests.
Well, to give it some credibility, I did do some research after that person talked to me, because I did see that there is a reptilian race that is very malign like that. And they even have, according to what I read, this one race has a penchant for blood for some reason. It's like a shark frenzy with them. They have,
like a real reptile.
It's a euphoric experience for them. Yeah, a reptilian race that does that.
They rule the world, bro.
If you haven't seen our episode on reptilians, go and check it out.
If you could go back to your 16-year-old self and give him one piece of advice, what would that be?
Jump now.
No. I'd probably say to my 16-year-old self, you can either follow the path that you're already on, and you will find that there is a lot of heartache, a lot of upset, and a lot of pain, or you can take your mother's advice and you can work really, really hard, get yourself a mortgage, yourself a house, work really, really hard to pay your mortgage, get yourself a wife, children, work really, really hard to keep your house and your mortgage and your wife and your children, keep them clothes, keep them fed, work really, really hard for all of the time that there is, and never, ever give yourself time to think. So if you never have time to think, chances are you'll be happy. But the moment you start thinking, you've got problems.
They don't want us to think. They want us to obey. But we'll have to save that for next time.
Oh look, Ted, we've got to do the giveaway.
If you want to win some of our merch, leave a comment on this video for a chance to win in our next episode. Let's do this, bro.
Bang bang!
Blah, blah.
Pick something from our merch store and we'll send it straight out.
Look at Brian, looking like a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, that's fucking dope. Thanks to everyone who's buying the merch, and all our new channel members.
We got some new designs dropping real soon.
And as always, thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one.
Beyond belief, fact or fiction.
Yo, what's good? We're back with another one.
It's showtime.
thought that when you run numbers through that little formula, you get that shape. A structure that repeats itself on smaller and smaller scales is called a fractal. This shape tells us something about the way God thinks. Numbers are an aspect of God's mind. So perfect fractals repeat infinitely and are only found in the conceptual world of mathematics. Nonetheless, the physical world contains proximate fractals, things that they go so many steps and then eventually they break down into atoms. This shape, that's a multibrat that exists only in the conceptual world of mathematics. We can plot it, but you could never touch that thing because it's not physical. It's not made up of atoms. But that one is, and they look remarkably similar. How is it that conceptual things that exist only in the mind also occur in the physical universe? Because the universe, the physical universe, is upheld by the mind of God, and God thinks mathematically. So it stands to reason the physical universe will obey mathematical laws, because God upholds all things by the word of his power, the Bible says. And why would a physical universe obey conceptual laws? The secular worldview cannot answer that.
Maybe it's not a physical universe.
It is, bro. But people are playing God.
This robot is powered by lab-grown human brain cells. Chinese researchers have developed this brain-on-chip technology called MetaBOC. Researchers say that their tiny lab-grown brain could learn tasks faster than current AI models. They say it uses much less energy than AI, which needs a lot of power and data to learn. These brain cells also show more, quote, intuition and creativity than AI, learning with fewer examples. Could this be because some aspect of the human spirit is locked in these brain cells? And is there any moral issue with using human brain cells and possibly the human soul to power robots to perform slave-like behavior?
What is my purpose?
You passed butter.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's a step too far.
They're gonna run out of power soon, bro.
Something kind of big is happening behind closed doors. Billionaires, big banks, and even tech giants are quietly pouring billions of dollars into uranium. You see, right now, the explosive growth of AI is driving a surge in global energy consumption. I want you to consider this. Running a single Google search uses about the same energy as turning on a light bulb for 10 seconds. Not bad. But a single query on ChatGPT, that's like keeping your laptop running for 12 full minutes. Now multiply that by the millions of people using AI chatbots every day, and add to that the countless industries: healthcare, cybersecurity, construction, cloud infrastructure, and many more, all racing to integrate AI into their systems. And you've got yourself an energy problem. So, where's all this extra energy going to come from? Solar and wind are great, but they're not consistent enough to handle the 24/7 demand of AI-driven systems. Which brings us to uranium. This tiny metal, packed with energy, powers nuclear reactors that can generate massive amounts of electricity without emitting any carbon at all.
I think they're going to use this as an excuse to give us a carbon allowance. So they've got enough power for the AI systems.
We're gonna need more candles, bro.
I do know that crash retrievals are real. I do know that crash retrieval of unknown origin are real. I mean, I personally know that, like I have enough evidence from my work. And that I do know that there are multiple programs to retrieve what they believe are NHI, non-human intelligence-made craft. So why wouldn't that be one? But that's as far as I got, right? I think what people need to now do is talk with the people that brought the story forward and look for origin of that footage and try to understand it better. So we get to the bottom of that.
I don't know about this guy.
They're all plants, bro.
No, Elizondo is a paid disinformation person.
How convinced are you of that?
100%.
When you're talking about these disinformation agents, these knocks, I have somebody that comes to mind. And we were talking about him at lunch. Lou Elizondo. Is he one of them?
Oh, of course. I mean, you know, as soon as he emerged on the stage, I had a very senior guy at CIA who's worked this issue since 1979 contact me about that problem. But remember, the only way that you can control at this point all this coming out because of what we have and what we're pushing forward through media is to control the narrative, the spin. So the people coming forward who get an all-access pass on to, say, 60 Minutes or something like that.
Gray's a plant too, bro.
He could be legit. I think he's just milking it.
However much you think is sitting out there in the desert, it's 100 times more. You know, Ben Rich, you remember Ben Rich? He was the director, the president of the Lockheed Skunk Works. So the week he died, he had a conversation with a colleague of mine, James Goodall. And Jim Goodall is a very renowned aerospace historian and a mainstream author. And Ben Rich and he knew each other. So he called him up. He was very close to death, had cancer. And Ben Rich says he asks, well, what do you really have out there in the desert? And Ben Rich says, anything you can imagine, anything you've seen on Star Trek or Star Wars, we have it, we've already done it, it's out there in the desert. He says, but not Area 51. And he was talking about in the underground facilities connected to this. So what that opening is connects to a place called the Ant Hill, which is to the east out in the desert further, and goes underground through a series of bases. They're known as STIFs, subterranean facilities. Some people call them DUMBs, deep underground military bases. And they're connected with underground tunnels. I actually have in my archive the patent for the machine that made those tunnels that are made by various contractors like Bechtel Corporation and some others that I know. So those facilities have been studying in reverse engineering ET tech, alien tech, whatever you want to call it, for 70 years. They've also had trillions of dollars that the US government doesn't know has been going into that. And I will say, of all the scientists I've met in the world from any academic institution, the scientists that get picked out of high school or college working on this technology, this Raytheon triangle, they are the brightest, most accomplished scientists, highest IQ I've ever met, period. But you're not going to see them at MIT and Harvard. Now,
why won't you? Where do they recruit them from?
They identify them sometimes in early, through IQ tests and other special abilities and talents programs. And then, once they're identified, then they get kind of pulled over in that direction. And by the way, your top special forces guys that I know, like Jake Barber, a very, very, very incredibly smart guy. He was identified as a specially gifted person as a young man.
I think he's right about this.
Even a broken clock's right twice a day, bro.
Extraterrestrial life on planet Earth. One of the things you said in an interview, you talked about a conversation you had with a U.S. Admiral. They tell me something's moving at hundreds of miles an hour underwater as large as a football field underwater. This was a documented case, and I have an admiral telling me this stuff. What do you believe exists on Earth in terms of extraterrestrial life, and what have you seen proof of?
Well, there's some things I've seen proof of that I can't discuss, and I've urged the White House to disclose these things. They spend hundreds of millions of dollars researching something, and then you have one group telling us they don't exist, and I have the best pilots in the world telling me, Tim, this thing was 14 feet from my canopy, and he went and he did this. And I've seen things that I wish the public could see. There's just a lot of unknowns. And again, they tell us they don't exist, but then they issue redacted reports, and they're still studying. Almost every one of our alphabet agencies has that.
I don't see how there could be something that big underwater.
They've been here for thousands of years, bro.
And it concerns this because there's been very tiny amount of carbon dating on Malta. Hardly any. And archaeologists have found there's no evidence that any large population ever lived there. This place was clearly built for some sort of sacred purpose, and there is evidence that people made pilgrimages to Chaco Canyon. That's how they got there, and that the place was used as a site of pilgrimage. And as above, so below. It's locked into the summer solstice sunset and sunrise, the winter solstice sunset and sunrise, different buildings, the equinoxes. They're all tied up. There are alignments that extend over distances of tens of kilometers to other structures which are perfectly in line with a solstitial alignment. This was the work of an amazing astronomical culture. Would we have filmed elsewhere in America? Yes, but unfortunately archaeologists prevented us from doing so.
Tell me more about that.
Well, just as they denied us access to film at Serpent Mound in Ohio in the first season of Ancient Apocalypse, We'd made an episode about Serpent Mound anyway. We were able to do some filming from neighboring land, but we were specifically denied access in a written document that I have put online, which said that the reason that they were denying us access was because I was presenting the series.
That's fucked up.
They're probably going to take him out, bro.
Kelly Osbourne. Kelly Osbourne went from looking like this to looking like this. And I know a lot of you want to say that she has had surgery, but Kelly has not had surgery. Her mom has, but she has not. I know it's a shock because you're like, how did she go from this to this without any surgery? She has not had any surgery at all. Just apparently just some Botox. Quick Google search in the Google search bar. Has Kelly Osbourne had any facial surgeries? No, she has not. And she even told her fans, Kelly Osbourne has never had any effing plastic surgery. She's not opposed to it, just hasn't had it. And I know a lot of you people fangirl over Hollywood and you fangirl over the 1%, but let me tell you what. She's been through the ringer. She wasn't protected by her parents either. The world will be shocked once they know the involvement of certain entities. Because I'm finding some pictures of Kelly that makes me go, that looks like a white party. And she does not look okay. And it seems that her and P. Diddy have a little bit of history, where when Kelly was 19, one of his security guards knocked her over at a table. P. Diddy came up, picked her up, said, "You don't wear enough diamonds." He ends up buying her a diamond bracelet. He gives the diamond bracelet to Kelly and she's flaunting it off. And then begins a conversation of if Kelly should date P. Diddy. Her mother Sharon said, wouldn't it be cool if Kelly went out with Puff Daddy and I was Puff Daddy's mother-in-law? I think they would be so cute together. But that's not the extent of it. Research the comments Sharon made to her 19-year-old daughter about P. Diddy's member, because that is like no surprise that certain things happen in Hollywood to very, very young, easily influenced people.
They're all Satanists, bro.
Can't believe how different she looks.
What if I told you there is a place in Coralia where trees only grow to a certain point and then they literally start twisting and bending and growing back down or out, as if an invisible force is pushing on them? Oh, it gets weirder. In this area, it's called Mount Vadavara. The locals literally call it Death Mountain because there's practically no animals, no birds, and the water is uninhabited. I'm not done yet. The ancient Sami people were said to have worshipped it as a sacred site because it holds some sort of powerful energy. There are boulders balanced on tiny rocks, which all the scientists say were left behind when the glaciers melted. Come on. They say all of this was done when the glaciers melted. I don't think a glacier carved a perfect sphere. That's just my opinion. But these are called sides, and the Sami people say they represent nature or earth spirits. Now, some people think that there's something to do with ancient aliens in this area. I truly believe there was some sort of ancient civilization there. There is this that is carved like a well, and there's one identical to it in Bulgaria, but no one has taken the time to study this well and even see how deep it goes, so the depth is completely unknown to this day. There are these 13 steps